Hey, what's up, Gordon? Quick demo video for you for your Inception Elite. As you know, I got this done. Actually, I got this done last night. I think I posted it this morning. It's got a Goth Master chassis that you want me to put in it. It's got two sets of CC Sabers LED pixels. It's running a Proffie V2. It's a 2-button setup. So what I did here is it's a little different from the other Inception that I did because this control box has the clamps for the main clamp card to slide in. So if you look at that, I did little brass tactile switches here, and I did one on the other side. It looks the same, but this gets held in pretty nice. So that's what I did there. Although this does come apart in several sections, it's okay for you to take it apart, right? But what we want to do first is we want to unscrew this guy. On the last Inception, this was the only part that had to be unscrewed. Yours is a little different. So we're going to unscrew your pommel. You're going to see your chassis right here. Now this chassis, it pulls out a little bit. It is a little stiff, but it comes. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. This greebly right here locks it in. That's what I was missing. I went to take this greebly out initially to unscrew it, and it snapped in half. There is absolutely no material hardly between the button head of this guy and the threads. So I went to unscrew it, it came right off. I did JB weld it back on, and I also JB welded a little dome on the tip of it because it wasn't quite long enough to lock down this chassis, and that's what this chassis was designed for, to have this guy right here lock it down. So I made it a little bit longer with some JB weld, and now it works really well. But you want to back that out first, and then once you back that out, you can pull your chassis out. You only want to pull it out about this far to get to your kill key, because your switch wires are long enough to where your board's right here underneath this cap. So there is a little bit of movement with your switch wires. I don't like that. It just makes me nervous. But this chassis should not rotate like this. You should always keep it in this orientation where the board is facing straight up, and it's in line with the switch box. And then you know, when you have this in person, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's easy to see. That's how you lock this in too. So there's a channel on the side of this chassis, and if that board's not facing up properly so if it's not facing up, when you push it in, it will not lock properly, but you'll be able to feel that right away. So we're gonna pull it out far enough to get to your kill key. You can pull this out with your fingers. Once we pull that out, we're gonna take this, we're gonna slide it right back where it was. Just like that. Now the chassis actually stops this sliding where it's supposed to go. There is a little bit of a diameter change right here on the back of this chassis, and it locks in and stops on the diameter change of this inner ring right here with I forgot what you call this. It's not the grenade section, it's the booster section. Okay, the booster. There's a little diameter change right there, and it locks this guy in place. So now we've locked that in, we've screwed this back in, right? We've locked it down. We can now take this and put it back on. Now from here, your front button is your activation. See your pixels lighting up like they should. No swing. Your auxiliary is in the back. And we'll twist off. Now, if you want to get to your crystal reveal, grab it from here and we'll unscrew the grenade section. And this comes right off. It'll come off just like this. So what I put in here was a blade side PCB. I made that PCB holder to be the right width so it comes down nice on these pins right here, as you can see. This is another set of your CC Sabers LEDs. And then you've got your crystal right here. So I put a real quartz crystal in this guy. And then I had to order some brass tubes. You see these two brass tubes coming down here. That's what hides all your wires. Brings them past your crystal chamber so you don't have any wires there. You could light that up. Now when this is on, you can take your handle and slide it on, just like this. And then you'll know when you make contact, because as you're twisting in that grenade section, your LEDs will light up. Just like that. It happens right at the very end, just like it should. And then you have a fully functional saber, and then we could twist off. Now, we are going to throw a blade in here. The blade depth, like the last Inception I did, is terrible. This saber has a terrible blade depth for NeoPixel sabers if you don't want to go the route of having a recessed blade for your PCB, which you did not. So I cut that cup out of there. I made a very low profile PCB holder, and then I did not go with the blade retention that they gave me. I came up here and I put in 832 for you right up here, and then you could see it. I got as top to the emitter piece as I possibly could. My test blade is very loose in this guy because I've sanded it a lot. So I'm hoping that you have a blade at home that you have not sanded at all that would fit well in here. And if you don't, you might have to use a few wraps of masking tape around the base of the blade that you intend on using, just to get a little bit better of a bite. If you got that spark tip ignition that you wanted, you do have battle mode engaged. So when you hit that blade and you get blade lock up, it'll stay that way until you pull off of it. Gets a little crazy sometimes, but we'll turn it off. We're gonna switch sound fonts.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Go to the next one. Next one. Now we're into the stock fonts. You can see this fire blade here. I'll just kind of show you the crystal because it looks cool. It's the bad thing about motion controls is if you don't want them to go off, sometimes they will. That's what your crystal looks like with a fire blade. Just like that. And we'll put this back on. And then we'll just cycle through to the very beginning again so that you can see all the fonts are on there. Put this back on. Almost there. Now we're back to the front. Just like that. So all the sound fonts are on here that you wanted. You got the spark ignition. You do have blade flicker. To control, it will remember the color that you change a blade to on your direct on your color wheel, right? So to get to everything when you're done with it, we want to just do the same thing we did in the beginning. So we're going to take this off. We're going to unlock the chassis here. This doesn't have to come all the way out, just back it up a little bit so this chassis can slide out just far enough to get to your recharge port. I did have to take this kill key that came with your chassis. I did chop it down a bit because at the full length, it was sticking out and you would not be able to put the pommel on. So I did do that to it. We'll put this back where it goes, lock it back in, and then put this on. This is programmed for a 34-inch blade that you told me you had. So that's everything. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, this and your other saber will go out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks.